Welcome family back to our channel. Today we are going to show you a recipe for keto pizza. My sister just told me about this recipe last week, and can I tell you, it is delicious. I've been doing keto off and on for, I don't know, maybe 2 years, and when I would get a craving for pizza, I would just melt some cheese in a skillet and put pepperonis on it. And that did a little something, but when she told me about this crust, OMG, I will never go back to my skillet cheese and pepperonis again. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here.
So a lot of people talk about how expensive keto is, and I'm sure it can be really expensive, but everything that we have here today, we can say is a budget item. So the eggs, the cheese, the Parmesan cheese, and we have some spinach over here, is all from Aldi.
Pizza sauce is from the Dollar Tree. So the pizza will end up being, I would say, a personal size pizza, which is all you need when you're doing keto. Okay, so we're going to start off with our mozzarella cheese. So the mozzarella cheese, you need 1 cup. So we're going to measure out 1 cup in our handy dandy measuring cup. Okay, let's see. That is 1 cup, and then we're going to go ahead and pour that into our bowl. And then we just need a ½ cup of our grated Parmesan. It doesn't have to be grated Parmesan, but we felt this was the easiest to use and it comes out just as good. So we're using the grated Parmesan cheese, you know, the kind that you would put on top of your spaghetti or whatever. And that's going to be a ½ cup. All right, and then we're just going to pour that in. And then 1 egg. 1 egg is all you'll need.
You want to make sure that you preheat your oven to 350 degrees so that while you're doing this, getting the ingredients together, that your oven is getting warm and toasted, getting ready for that pizza.
Oh, and one thing we forgot to mention is that whatever seasonings you want to add into your crust, you want to go ahead and add it in at this moment. So I'm going to put in a little Italian seasoning and a little garlic powder and a sprinkle of pepper.
So those are perfect for pizza, that Italian seasoning.
Yeah, so just a little bit of garlic powder, just a squirt there. And a little Italian seasoning. You can, you know, be as heavy as you want on that. And just a little pepper. Now, the other day I put a little seasoning salt in my crust, but I don't know, I think with the saltiness of the cheese and the pepperonis, I felt it was a little bit too much. So I'm not going to put seasoning salt in my crust today. Just the Italian seasoning, the garlic powder, and a little bit of pepper. And then you just go ahead and you mix this up. The instructions say to use parchment paper. However, we don't have any parchment paper, but we're going to use this non-stick pan. This is what I used the other day, and it worked perfectly. It did not even stick because it's a non-stick pan. So, but if you have your parchment paper, go ahead and use that. All right, so you're going to mix it together. It's going to kind of look like this. It's not going to be completely, you know, whipped because there's not a lot of liquid just left from the egg. And then
I'm going to just dump it in there.
Go ahead and dump it on the pan. And then with your clean fingers, you're going to go ahead and just press that together, making out a pizza crust.
So you can make it as thin or as thick as you want. If you want it to be a thin crust, you know, press it down where it's thin. If you want it to be a thicker crust, then you keep it a little bit thicker. So
I myself, you know, I just love pizza. So it doesn't matter to me if it's thin or thick. So I just go ahead and I just mash it out. You know, get it, like I said, to the size of about a personal pan pizza, personal size.
I actually like to thin it out just because it makes me feel like I'm eating more pizza because it's a little bigger.
That's a good idea because it'll be bigger, but it'll be the same amount of calories.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
The same amount of carbs. So it's actually 4 carbs for this entire pizza.
For the crust. For
the entire crust. So when you add on the toppings, it's going to be a little bit more.
So you're going to have to account for your toppings. So yeah, your crust itself is going to be 4 carbs, which is good for pizza. So this is what the pizza crust looks like. So next we're going to go ahead and put it in our preheated oven. And we're going to leave that in there for 15 minutes.
And you want to check on it throughout, once it gets to about 10 minutes to see if the crust is how you like it. I kind of like mine a little bit more brown, but at this point you just want to make sure it's a little bit more brown in the center of the pizza, because when you take it out, you're going to put the toppings on it and then put it back in there. So we'll get a little bit more brown.
You don't want it to be overcooked initially because it has to go back in the oven. So I set my timer for 15 minutes, but before that 15 minutes is up, I will take a look around 13 minutes to see if it's ready. If not, I'll go ahead and let it stay in there a few more minutes. But anyways, we will go ahead and we'll be back with you once our crust is ready.
And so while the pizza crust is cooking, it looks a bit like this. So it's a little brown on the underside of the pizza, and still a little bit of ways to go, but it's looking pretty good. All right, so now we're back with our pizza crust, and it looks really good.
Delicious.
It looks so good.
Yes.
So we remember we're using our pizza sauce that we found at the dollar store. On here it says 1/4 of a cup is 4 total carbs, and it has 1 dietary fiber gram. So that means it's a total carb, total 3 net carbs. So we're going to use that, and hopefully it's enough. I think it'll be enough. So I have 1/4 of a cup of pasta sauce. No, I'm sorry, pizza sauce.
All right, and then I have this, I'm not sure what this tool is called, this utensil. But anyways, we'll take that and we will spread that pizza sauce on out. Oh, that just looks so good.
So depending on how you like it, you might put your pizza sauce all the way to the end of the crust. I like mine to be a little bit like regular pizza, so I have a little bit of the crust sticking out. But either way, it's good.
Right, and that 1/4 of a cup, in case you were wondering, it looks like it's plenty. It's plenty for this personal size pizza. So if you were concerned that, oh my gosh, that won't be enough. Oh yeah, it's definitely enough sauce for this personal size pizza. So we got it all spread all out.
So I'm going to get 1/4 of a cup of cheese.
And this is our same mozzarella cheese that we use for the crust.
Yep. So if you're like me and love cheese, you will love this. And even if you don't love cheese, you probably still will like this. So the way I usually make the pizza is I like to put a little bit of the cheese down, and then I put my topping on, and then I put more cheese on top. So we may end up using a 1/2 cup. So 2 of these, 1/4 cup.
This is going to be a nice veggie pizza. We're going to add some spinach. Yummy, yummy, yummy. You know, if you want a lot, you put a lot. If you want a little, you put a little. It's up to you. However, let's see. The spinach does have carbs. A total of 1 carb.
Right. But that's for 3 cups of spinach, and we're not going to put 3 cups of spinach on here. So usually, just so that I'm on the safe side, I'll just count the spinach as 1 carb, just because I know I'm not going to put a whole lot on here. And it's probably not even going to be a carb because of
it's not going to be that much
little we put on here.
That makes sense. Okay, so I think that looks good.
Okay.
All right.
So now we're going to add the rest of the cheese. And we'll definitely want to put more cheese on top, but it depends on how you like it. You might like a little bit of cheese because you have so much cheese in the crust. You might like a lot of cheese. So again, it just depends on what you like.
On your preference.
So basically on top, I have a half a cup of cheese.
Get some of those edges.
Now that we're done putting the toppings on here.
Doesn't that look good? Can you imagine how it's going to look after that cheese is melted? And can you imagine how it's going to taste?
Honey, we will let you know. So it's going in the oven.
At 350.
At 350 in the oven again. And this, you'll want to check it. You want to wait to see that the crust is even more brown and that the cheese is melted and brown, however you like it. Okay? So, we'll be back.
Here's a slice of our keto cheese pizza. Cheese crust.
Looks good.
It looks delicious. Let's go ahead and taste it with the spinach.
Still smoking.
That
Good.
crust. That crust is outstanding. You really could not tell that this is not crust. If somebody let me taste this and I didn't know, you could not make me believe that this crust was just made out of cheese. It has the texture of real crust.
So good, I can't even talk, y'all.
Right. And I'm not a big veggie pizza person. Give me my pepperoni, give me my sausage, you know. But this spinach pizza?
And this is how the back or the bottom of the pizza looks. You know, depending on how long you keep it in there.
Right, we like ours a little crispy. This is delicious. And that crust with that seasoning in there. I remember I said I wasn't going to put any salt in the crust. That was the trick for me. Don't salt your crust because it's already kind of salty with the cheese. So it doesn't need it. This is perfect.
Yeah. So if you're doing keto or any other diet or lifestyle change and you want some pizza, this is the way to go. This is so good.
It is.
So good. I remember for the New Year, my friend was having a get-together at her house, and she told me she was ordering pizza. So what I decided to do was create my own keto pizza, this exact recipe right here. And that was the first time I made it, and it was so good. It was so good. So I wasn't jealous of the other people eating pizza. So.
And you won't be either if you try this, believe us.
Right. It was just that simple.
So, leave us a comment. Let us know if you tried it. How do you like it? If you have another version that you think is better, let us know that. We're open to ideas. Share. Thanks for watching.